What's up, guys? It's Pete back again. Welcome back. Once again, mixing the greatest cover band in the world, Hindley Street Country Club. Today, we're doing some Barry White. Once again, I'm Gonna Love You. Just a little more, baby.
The words of love keep calling. I'm gonna love you, love you, love you. Just a little more, baby. I'm gonna need you, need you, need you. And every day I'm gonna want.
So we're talking about ghosts. Ghost notes. Ghost notes are those, if you don't know, right? Light hits that a drummer will hit on the snare drum in between the main loud hits. So there's basically two, and a good drummer like Brad here will give you a nice recording of the solid hits, typically on the 2 and 4 of the beat, right? And then the softer ghost notes, as they're called, those little softer hits that kind of fill in the groove, right? And we want to work that in the mix where it's sitting in the right spot, it's heard. Again, when you have a good drummer, those are nice and controlled in volume. It makes it easy to mix. And we have a little technique here that I use to make sure I can separately control the ghost notes from the main hits. Therefore, I can control the volume, I can control the sound, the EQ of those ghost notes completely separately from the actual snare drum sound itself. So let's solo the drums. So if you hear them, I'll solo the ghost note track. There they are. Mixing with the snare. Take the ghost notes out. I'll have a little kick in there. Right? Now, what I did to get that sound and to separate it like that, let's go to the ghost note track. What did I do? I don't know. I did this mix a few weeks ago, so let me go back and see. First thing I did is put a limiter on it, apparently. Oh, so what I did here is you see the main hits are being squashed 12 dB. Now, if I turn this off, I don't want this to get loud, but well, we have the gate after, so we can't even do that right now. So what I'm doing is I'm crushing the main loud hits down in volume. And if you notice, the ghost notes are not being attenuated. They're not being turned down. Only the main hit, right? So I'm actually not changing the sound of the ghost notes, just tucking in the louder hits. Again, I use trigger as a gate. There is actually no sample loaded up in here. And you can see all the little ghost notes in between the snare hits, right? There they are. So, of course, the gate is allowing that to come through. We don't want to chop that off. And then we just have, a little saturation, EQ, compression, and yet another limiter. Okay, so separating that, right, from the snare drum and being able to work that in. Let's get all the drums going. Cool trick, right? Now you notice the sound of the snare drum on the 2 and 4, the main hits, doesn't really change whether I turn this up or down. If anything, it sounds a little better because you get a little snare reaction on that sound, and it's not a bottom snare mic. But it really gives me that control, right? Now, that's the main thing I wanted to show. And when you have a drummer playing, again, solidly and so well like Brad hits, this just makes things so easy to mix when you can separate them like that. Now, where should it sit in the mix, right? That's the next question. How loud should we put those ghost notes? And if you notice, with this song, and in some arrangements, you're going to have a groove underneath the main drum. So you have the main kick and snare, hi-hat, but you have percussion. You may have this or that going on, little rhythmic stuff. And the ghost notes want to be in that family, right? So let's listen to the mix and kind of see what else we have.
Feel your lips upon my face, pleaser.
Right? Okay, we got the congas, we got a little tambourine action, throw in the ghost notes. It's like a little loop in the background, right? That gets the motion going. So there's a whole relationship with those elements.
For I will hold back, knowing.
And so that's the deal. That's it. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Once I started doing that, and again, you got to have a solid hitter who, like Brad here, who's either hitting the drum full on or hitting consistent ghost notes. When you have drummers that are just somewhere sort of in between, this becomes very hard to do. So thank you, Brad. You're the man. And again, I always forget to mention in the videos, in the description will be the link to the final mix. I'll put that. And of course, check out the Hindley Street Country Club, greatest cover band in the world. And I think a lot of my subscribers here, as I'm just growing this channel, already know them. But if you don't, go check it out. They are the nicest guys in the world. It's such a pleasure to do this week in, week out. Amazing. I can't say enough good things. It's just really perfect. And I really enjoy it. And, you know, for those of you who may be watching this that are fans, I'm mixing this for you guys. If you're enjoying it, that's what's in my mind when I'm mixing. I'm not mixing for myself. I want the fans to just have the experience, you know. I don't want them to think about, and as a mixer, you don't want the audience to think about the mix engineer. You want them just to enjoy it. And sometimes you got to do a lot of stuff just to get unnoticed, you know, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you do a ton of processing or tricks here and there just to get things to sound like you didn't do anything to it. But again, it's all for the audience, and if you're a fan of HSCC and you like the way it sounds, I'm mixing for you. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I like to hear feedback, and I always read the comments, and I love when people are enjoying it all around the world, you know, in the millions and millions, and it's just wild. It's just so much fun. That's it, guys. Make sure you, if you like the video, like it, leave me a comment. I'll engage and subscribe. And more to come. I got some stuff coming up with Sadoon, who's also on my channel. You can check out those videos and some really good stuff coming up with him. More to come. See you guys soon.